Hello guys, how are you today? I have my close friend Megan with me and we will talk about the future of the DC Universe. Megan is a fan of the DC Universe and especially Harley Quinn.
Hello guys, I'm Megan and I'll be around from now on and we're going to do some research with Ted. He thinks I'll get a big boost from this. Ted, if you're ready then let's get started.
So Megan, I want to share my thoughts on the DC Cinematic Universe lately. In my opinion, I do not see the future very bright.
No, Ted. I think the opposite. The DC Cinematic Universe will get to a better point in the future.
Okay, I admit DC has made good movies. Productions like Wonder Woman and Aquaman were really successful. However, I think they lag behind the Marvel Cinematic Universe in general.
Yes, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has had some pretty impressive success. But it's important to see that DC also maintains its own audience and fanbase. Movies like Joker showed DC's potential and took a different approach.
That's right, Joker really made a big impression. But DC has also experienced some major disappointments. Movies like Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Suicide Squad received negative reviews from critics and failed to satisfy audiences.
Of course, every cinematic universe has its tough times. But DC can learn from these mistakes and work to move forward. Shazam and Birds of Prey have received positive reviews and are promising.
I understand, but I believe DC does not consistently deliver a coherent vision. While Marvel offers a storyline and character development that ties its films together, DC displays a more dispersed image.
Yes, I agree that Marvel is ahead of DC on this one. But DC may do a better job in the future. The upcoming movies like The Batman and projects like Black Adam can be exciting.
You make a good point, because I have high hopes for The Batman. But DC can do well by digging deeper into the comic book world and focusing on less popular characters.
Definitely, DC's digging deep into the comic book world has great potential. Movies like The Suicide Squad focused on lesser-known characters, making it a different experience.
In conclusion, Megan, I'm still not very hopeful for the future of the DC Cinematic Universe. But I admire your optimism.
Ted, I don't believe the quality of future DC movies will improve. Having faced many director changes and script issues, it shows that DC is struggling to create a stable cinematic universe.
Yeah, you're right. Constantly changing directors and scripts break the integrity of the films. In addition, revisions to movies like Justice League also failed to meet fans' expectations.
Definitely, the revisions to the Justice League situation had created an inconsistent look at the end of the movie. But DC has tried to win back the trust of fans with projects like Justice League, Snyder Cut, which stays more faithful to director Zack Snyder's vision.
The Snyder Cut really got a lot of attention among the fans. But whether this will be DC's solution for future movies is a mystery.
Maybe DC should set a more coherent roadmap and plan the stories better in the future. New films need to be interconnected and more emphasis should be placed on character development.
I agree. If DC wants to create a cinematic universe like Marvel, it needs to explore its characters more deeply and tell their stories more coherently.
Besides, DC's focus on movies in different genres might also be interesting. Alongside a character work like The Joker, or a superhero movie like Wonder Woman, different genres can give DC a different identity.
Yes, diversity can be an important factor. DC can expand from darker and serious tones to lighter and playful genres.
In conclusion, Ted, while there is uncertainty about where the DC Cinematic Universe will go in the future, it's important not to lose hope and see DC's potential. Perhaps we will encounter successful productions that will surprise us in unexpected ways.
You're right, Megan. We hope DC creates a more powerful and coherent cinematic universe in the future and delights us with amazing movies. Hey Megan, the trailer for the movie, The Flash, looks really cool.
Yes, I watched the trailer and I was very impressed too. It's really exciting to bring the Flash's adventures to the big screen.
The visual effects and action scenes we saw in the trailer were incredible. Flash's manipulation of time using the power of speed is a really impressive show.
Exactly. The Flash character played by Ezra Miller has earned a unique place in the DC universe and it's really exciting to see him in a solo movie.
Besides the visual effects we saw in the trailer, the emotional aspect of the movie was also very interesting. The Flash's confrontation with his past and his efforts to save his mother reveal an emotional layer to the story.
Absolutely. This movie looks like it will take up the Flash's personal journey and self-discovery. This makes him a more human and more understandable character.
I'm of the same opinion. It's exciting to see interactions with other heroes from the DC Cinematic Universe add to the film as well. It was a big surprise for DC fans to see Michael Keaton returning as Batman and seeing him as Ben Affleck's Batman.
Yeah, it's a really interesting idea for the Flash to come across different versions of Batman using the concept of the multiverse. This seems to offer viewers a story where different universes merge.
How do you think the story of the Flash character will progress in this movie?
Of course, the Flash movie will focus on Barry Allen discovering his ability to travel through time and switching between parallel universes. The Flash will struggle to prevent a crisis that threatens the universes due to a mistake he has experienced in the past.
Yes, the theme of time travel is very important for the Flash character. In the film, Barry Allen's efforts to rewrite the past by changing time and the consequences he faced can provide a compelling story.
Exactly. Additionally, the Flash movie will interact with other superheroes from the DC universe. This adds a lot of excitement to the movie. In particular, it was announced that Supergirl will also appear in the movie.
Definitely, it was a big surprise that Supergirl would be joining the Flash movie. Supergirl is a superhero character from the planet Krypton and they will embark on adventures by collaborating with the Flash.
Yes, the Flash and Supergirl working together will allow the DC universe to expand further and bring together heroes with different superpowers. Viewers can't wait to see the unique dynamics of this duo.
Also, I think Supergirl will breathe new life into the DC Cinematic Universe. It will be very exciting to watch a superhero that we have not seen much on the big screen before.
I agree, Ted. The addition of Supergirl to the DC Cinematic Universe will offer viewers a new perspective and a strong female protagonist. This will highlight the diversity of the universe and the importance of strong characters.
With the Flash movie and the participation of Supergirl, an exciting future awaits us in the DC Cinematic Universe. The Flash's transition between time travel and parallel universes will give viewers a chance to explore different dimensions. I hope these movies will be okay. Let's talk about some movies that were cancelled in the DC Cinematic Universe. For example, Batgirl, which was planned to be directed by Joss Whedon, was unfortunately cancelled.
Yes, Batgirl was one of those cancelled projects. This movie would chronicle Barbara Gordon's superhero adventures as Batgirl and was eagerly awaited by fans. Unfortunately, we learned that the project was cancelled due to problems in the development process.
That's right, it's also been announced that DC's Justice League Dark has been cancelled. This movie would focus on the dark and mystical side of the DC universe and tell the adventures of superheroes who come together as a team. However, under construction it was cancelled for various reasons.
Yes, we also know that other movies like Gambit, Lobo, and Cyborg have been cancelled. These projects were to focus on interesting characters, but were cancelled due to problems with the production process or different creative visions.
Definitely, the cancellation of these projects has been disappointing among fans. However, DC still seems to be active in developing new projects that focus on different characters and stories.
Yes, when we look at DC's future plans, we see some new movies being announced. For example, projects like Blue Beetle and Zatanna will focus on different superheroes and expand the DC universe.
Exactly. Movies like Blue Beetle and Zatanna reflect DC's vision for diversity and enrichment with diverse characters. It will be exciting to discover the stories of different superheroes with these projects.
I totally agree, Ted. The DC Cinematic Universe still has great potential and is moving into the future with projects that excite fans. Although the cancelled movies are sad, let's keep waiting for DC's new projects without losing hope.
Megan, among the future movies in the DC Cinematic Universe, we have to mention the sequels like The Batman 2 and Joker 2. I think they are the most anticipated movies right now.
Absolutely, Ted. Both will be sequels that focus on characters that are getting a lot of attention. First, the movie, The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson caused a great stir and a sequel as expected.
Yes, The Batman offers a very dark and suspenseful atmosphere. In the second movie, we can expect Batman to deepen his heroic journey and fight crime in Gotham City.
Exactly. The positive response of his first film at the box office and from critics shows that The Batman 2 Inches can also offer a successful sequel. Director Matt Reeves' vision and Robert Pattinson's performance will further fuel the excitement of the audience.
Also, Joker 2, a second sequel to Joaquin Phoenix's movie that had a big break with the character of Joker, is waiting for us in the future. The first movie made a huge impact, and with the second movie, they're going to deepen the character's story even more.
Yes, Joker really made a big impression. Joaquin Phoenix's performance and narration style in the movie was quite remarkable. With Joker 2 Inches we can expect to explore more of the character's psychology and origin story.
It's also possible that DC will link The Batman and Joker to other productions of the DC cinematic universe. This shows that we can have the potential to create a universe where different characters and stories intersect.
I agree, Ted. Further expansion of the DC cinematic universe with movies like The Batman 2 and Joker 2 Inches gives you the chance to explore the stories of different characters. This can offer viewers a more complex and deepened universe.
It looks like a really exciting future awaits us. Sequels such as The Batman 2 and Joker 2 Inches will once again demonstrate the richness and diversity of the DC cinematic universe. Finally, let's talk about what we expect from the DC cinematic universe, and let's talk about DC's strong rebound no matter what.
Absolutely, Ted. As viewers, we expect quality and impressive films from the DC cinematic universe. Successful characterizations, good fiction and original stories are key factors that will satisfy fans.
Yes, the diversity and innovation that focuses on DC's different superheroes and villains raises our expectations for future movies. At the same time, the involvement of strong directors and screenwriters in projects is also an important factor.
It's also important for DC to focus on characters and strong stories that audiences can emotionally connect with. Well-written scripts and character developments keep audiences hooked to the movies and support the progression of the universe.
And no matter what, we must not forget that DC has a history of overcoming any challenge. They have the ability to overcome past challenges and can take great strides to please fans.
I totally agree, Ted. The DC cinematic universe has held a prominent place with a number of successful films and may continue to do so in the future. As viewers, we can't wait to continue to see DC's creative vision and strong characters.
You're right, Megan. Thank you for joining us in these exciting times. It was really fun talking about the future of the DC cinematic universe.
Absolutely, Ted. Thank you to our listeners. It was really exciting to discuss what was going to happen in the DC cinematic universe. It was great to have such a pleasant conversation with you. Goodbye.
Bye, fellas. For more news about the future of the DC cinematic universe, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos and podcasts.